Alright, yeah, so I was just thinking to myself a bit ago. I wanted to make a video up to talk about some of the things that have been going on lately around our election. First of all, I think most of us who know anything about anything, or even have half a brain, know that it was a big scam, obviously. That's very obvious. We've had a whole year of turmoil, crazy pandemic that in many ways was fraudulent, but yet not entirely, because obviously many people have had it. I think I had the virus a year ago, last Christmas, as did most people in my town. So really, once you get over it, it is what it is. It's a scam. They want to bankrupt our entire society, collapse our borders, bring in immigrants, just fucking take over everything. New World Order. So, what I was thinking about tonight and just wanted to touch upon in relation to the Capitol rush, storm of the US Capitol last week. It's Friday, Saturday, 10 days after the fact. And I can't really say I'm a huge activist. I've definitely been to a few rallies through the years. I did go to a couple, months ago around here, but mostly peaceful. I'm a patriot. I'm a advocator of freedom of speech and the Constitution, and I stand for that. I was a part of the Occupy movement years ago, back when I didn't even know what it was about at the time, because I'm a conservative. I'm ultra conservative, and little did I know that almost everybody there was, I would say at the time I didn't even know. I wasn't thinking about party, but I think most of them were socialists. In fact, there were a lot of anarchists there that I even talked to, but at the time I didn't really think about it, because I'm just very impartial. I am a musician, and I would have liked to preach the gospel there. But the irony is I could talk to anyone and get along with most, but there were a few people who didn't like me there, definitely. I just fed everybody. That's all I did. But fast forward 2020, because that was 2011. I didn't even know what the Occupy movement was about until after I left it. And then I started doing research, found out about the big banks, the Rothschilds, Illuminati, all that shit. And then I was like, okay, I get it now. But all the chanting, the protesting, I never understood that. I always thought it was annoying. I'm not a chanter, I'm not one to march in the streets and, repeat nonsensical one-liners. You know what I mean? I'm a public speaker. I've spoken to tens, hundreds of thousands of people before in the past, but primarily my gift is as an artist and musician. And I spoke to some of the locals in my town recently over the months. I've advocated for peace, protection of our community. I've prayed for the law enforcement in our community and the patriots, and I've even prayed for the guys on the other side too. So I wouldn't call myself inherently biased per se. I do have friends on both sides of the spectrum, and personally I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I am a libertarian, and I have the right to be without political affiliation. Although I do identify as libertarian, I don't go along party lines. I'm not a Republican, and I refuse, even to the will, when they tried to force me to vote Republican in the primaries last year. I literally was just going to walk out and not vote at all, until I found out that because I couldn't vote for Donald Trump on the libertarian ballot, but they tried to make me register as a Republican, and I said I'm not going to do it. Just because I vote for Donald Trump doesn't make me a Republican. I despise some of the things the Republicans stand for. Although yet I agree with 80-85% of their values, because I'm a Christian man, doesn't mean I have to go along with what they do. I don't appreciate the raping and pillaging of the earth, for profit. I don't. I think it's disgusting. But I also, even more vehemently, stand against, or rather more, I stand with the rights of the unborn and their right to live, and the 70 million babies that have been murdered by the left over the last several decades. I don't stand for that shit, that's for sure. And I will strongly stand and unashamedly profess my faith in Christ, our right to pray in school, and to strongly oppose homosexuality in every way. Although I do love the rainbow, I carry the colors of the rainbow on me all the time. Sometimes people get confused, and the rainbow isn't a homosexual symbol. It was co-opted by Harvey Milk in the 70s, and the mayor of San Francisco. And I just want to let you all know that the rainbow doesn't belong to you, okay? I want to make that very clear. The rainbow belongs to the people of God. However, I want to get into the depths and the crux of the matter for this video, and this is what I really wanted to talk about tonight, and that is the nature of this Capitol storm, whatever you want to call it, riot. I personally would not call it an insurrection, because if it was truly an insurrection, I don't think it would have ended the way it did. I think it would have been much, 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 much unimaginably worse than the situation we're dealing with now. Because if the true motives of the people who invaded the Capitol was to completely overthrow their government, they would have destroyed the building completely. They wouldn't have left. The police were far outnumbered by the masses. They could have stayed if they wanted to. They could have caused complete and utter devastation. All they really did, if you look at it and think about it historically, biblically, they basically did the same thing that Jesus did when he entered the temple and he drove out the money chambers and he said, "This is my Father's house, but you have made it a den of thieves." And he went in and he drove out the greedy, essentially politicians of the day. They were the ones ruling the church because it was a monotheistic society, the Jewish state. So not only did those people run the church, they actually also ran the government. So in a similar manner, we see these politicians now saying, oh, they've desecrated the seat of democracy, like it's this holy temple, like you are gods or something. Like you motherfuckers think you're God, and that you can just say and do whatever you want, and the rest of us are just gonna fucking deal with it. Well, listen, that's not the case. We're not gonna put up with this shit, okay? And believe me, I wasn't there, okay? And praise God for that, because it's, everybody I've talked to says, they say, it's a good thing I wasn't there, and they all say I probably would have got in trouble, referring to themselves, and that's kind of a common thought going around. It's probably by the grace of God that a lot of us weren't there, because it's sickening what they're doing to us in our country. And the people who were there, I don't think they really knew what they were getting themselves into, a lot of them. And yeah, obviously there were some that did have an idea, but here's the thing, and this is what I want to get to. I've been doing a little bit of research, found some of these videos, and it suddenly dawned on me. The guy they arrested a day or two ago, John Sullivan, okay? This guy, whoa, dude, we got some problems here. I just realized this guy, I saw a video months ago, right? Back when they were talking about besieging the Whitehouse. And there was this video of this guy, he was chanting out to a crowd, literally just openly. And I thought to myself at the time, my God, how is this guy walking free, right? Because he was one of the only people I ever saw do this. And lo and behold, this was with the Black Lives Matter Antifa movement, right? So he starts shouting to this whole huge crowd right in Washington, like across the street from the White House. He's shouting, you know, hey, we got to go rip Trump out of that office. We're not waiting till the election. We got to rip that motherfucker out now. And he literally says, he starts chanting, it's time for a revolution. It's time for a revolution. And I always remember this. This was like, I always thought it was like the most radical call to violence that I saw all year long, even though we saw the violence all year long from the left. But when I heard this guy, I thought, oh my God, why are they not doing anything about this? But I didn't know who he was. I didn't know his name. Lo and behold, come to find out, this is the same guy that led the conservatives to rush the Capitol. But they didn't know he was actually an agent provocateur of Antifa. In fact, he even has his own coalition. He started mini riots, literally, all over the U.S. He's from Salt Lake City. He was LDS. And then he was an Olympic speed skater. Hail to you, bro. Like, you're a great fucking athlete, okay? We give you that, okay? Much respect, all right? You're fucking fit. You're in shape. You got those fucking things in order, right? You got your physical prowess going on. We respect you for that, okay? But you know what? You don't have fucking right to incite insurrection against the United States of America. And that's what I want to say to you right now, okay? We got people who were there that day. And listen, I just want to get to this because there are so many people suffering right now for so many reasons. And we have true, genuine, just right-hearted patriots out there trying to fight for this country, right? And they're laying down their lives. You got people out on the battlefields and who have fought wars for us to maintain these freedoms. You've got people in Congress and office who are trying, in some ways very deluded, because that's what this has led us to. They've been bought out, right? But you have a lot of genuine people out there who are fighting for freedom. And then you got this guy, John Sullivan, who's as even the left is trying to denounce him. They want to distance themselves from this guy because he is a madman, okay? This guy is causing problems all over the place. Even Antifa and BLM don't want to own up to this guy because he's caused problems even for them. So he just shows up, blares off his fucking horn, gets a shit ton of people riled up, and they just fucking go for it. So he was in Portland, in D.C., Utah. He's been all over the country causing problems. And this is the fucking guy leading the charge into the US Capitol a week ago. Literally, he's shouting the same thing he did. When he was with Black Lives Matter in D.C. months ago, he was shouting, it's time for a revolution, it's time for a revolution, it's time for a revolution. Turns out he did the same thing with the Trump supporters on January 6th. And that, my friends and fellow Americans, that utterly perturbs me to find that this same guy who was working for them on the left, an agent provocateur, is now trying to come over to our side and pretend like he's one of us. So what we're dealing with here right now is a double agent. We literally got a guy who's fucking working for them, but yet he's trying to pretend like he's one of us. And you got to think about the humanity here, right? Because this guy has got all the videos, he's got all the footage, he's always on the front line right there. Right when Ashley Babbitt got shot, they told her to go through the window and then she's dead. Okay, and then they run away like they didn't do shit. He even tried to pretend like he was innocent, even though he was literally telling the police officers in the US Capitol to stand down. And somehow, he's got this persuasive, charismatic persona. I even saw that, months ago in that video from DC, and it's in the affidavit. If you read the affidavit. He was arrested by the FBI, interviewed several times. They got all that, right? So they got all those facts. But when I realized that he was the same guy from months ago, like, I already knew this guy was trouble, right? And it's baffling because at the time they were planning a 50-day siege on the White House. It was pretty extreme. And they all ended up bowing out because there were so many patriots saying, hey, you guys ain't gonna do shit, right? There were probably fucking millions of people ready to go to arms. So they kind of bowed out, right? Well, turns out this guy shows up months later trying to lead the fucking Trumpers into battle. But yet he's not a Trumper. He's literally a fucking anarchist trying to destroy the US government. And look at where we are now. We've got fucking 25,000 troops at the US Capitol. This is literally insane, dude. Literally. Like, they're preparing for something, okay? They're scared of us. They're scared of fucking, I say us, I mean conservatives per se, right? They're scared of the all the people who fucking came that day, right? And you know, so many people, it's like you're confused and thinking, what the fuck is going on, right? And honestly, I'm just as confused. I don't fucking know, dude. My life is in such a disarray. I don't really have time for all that shit. It's like, I'd love to be involved. I wish I could be there to help be a voice of inspiration, but the chaos and the confusion and the disarray, it's fucking mind-boggling. It's a huge psychological operation going on right now from multiple fronts. You know, you got the globalist New World Order trying to control everything from the command center. You know, in Davos, Switzerland, and the European Union, all while their own union is collapsing. You know, you know, you got these migrants taking over Belgium, but these same world leaders want to push their system on us. Like, they know how to fix shit, right? Well, every fucking economy in the world is fucking collapsing right now, or this bullshit global reset. So now we've got these fucking anarchist, communist scum who've infiltrated the US, taken over our system. They've gotten their fucking their agent into power, so to speak. He's not, it hasn't happened yet officially, but that's the plan this coming week. And so now we're faced with this monumental decision. You know, do we make that monumental last stand, right? Because a lot of people right now are bowing out, and you know what, I'm starting to see why. And it's, I can't blame you, you know, because a lot of people were there that day. They came for a righteous cause, and their whole movement got co-opted by one fucking guy, dude. I mean, I don't want to say one, because obviously there was a lot of people there, but you can get one guy like this. And there's video, literally. Both times when they were breaching through the Capitol, you see this guy at the front, right? And there's another guy with him. I don't know the guy's name. He had a headdress on. Not the horn guy, but there's another guy, a white guy, who I believe was also Antifa, who literally told Ashley Babbitt to go through the window. He literally said, go in. She gets in the window, gets shot, right? And this fucking guy is the one who filmed it, John Sullivan. And then you see this other guy again down on the main floor of the fucking Capitol, while all the people from outside are trying to get in, but they're having a standoff with the police. They're speaking peacefully. This guy shows up from behind somehow, starts acting crazy, says, you know, oh, are you Epstein? Am I Epstein? And he starts fucking freaking out like he's on drugs or something. And the cops are like, what are you doing? How did you get over here? You know, get out of here. And the guys on the other side are looking at him like he's crazy. Nobody knows how the fuck he just popped up out of nowhere, right? He's causing problems for everybody. This is what Antifa does. This is what the anarchists do. They love this shit, right? They thrive in anarchy. They fucking thrive in chaos. It's their fucking bread and butter. okay? They love it, dude, when we just lose our shit and fucking blow up and blah. That's how they win. They love this shit. It's chaos out of, or order out of chaos is their motto, right? And the globalist elite, they're being paid by fucking Soros. And as I was looking at this guy right now, John Sullivan, it disturbs me, right? I even was watching a random fucking video of it was like about a Utah militia or something. And lo and behold, this guy pops up on the video, John Sullivan, as a detractor towards, because BLM showed up in Utah, and this guy was like, hey, we got to make sure fucking shit stays cool because somebody got shot. So he showed up with some militia guys to just protect the community. And then fucking John Sullivan shows up with his guns and shit, starts his own coalition called Insurgence USA, right? Insurgents. What does that mean? Okay, so you say you're standing for righteous causes, protest, bullshit, but you name the fucking shit of your organization Insurgents, okay, aka insurgency. Why the fuck do you want to be identified with that? But you're claiming that you're just a fucking journalist, press, right? But the whole fucking time it's in your video, you're literally telling people, let's burn this shit down. This guy is literally egging everyone on the whole time. He's saying, let's go, let's go, let's go. And he's telling the cops, he's like so manipulative and persuasive. I've only met a few people like this in my entire life, but I can already see it. I saw it the first time I saw him speak in DC in the video for months ago, and I tried to find the video. I can't find it. I can't even find it on his own YouTube channel, which is called Jaden X. But he's standing up to this crowd, and it's like Tupac, right? You guys have heard Tupac rap. Dude, this guy just had this fucking charismatic voice, right? And it's commanding, right? So you can tell this guy has command presence. Even though he's not a big guy, he's real lean and skinny and fit, But he was an Olympic athlete. So that right there tells you he has a physical prowess about him. He doesn't have to be a huge military stature of a person, but he has charisma. So you can see how quickly he has the ability to rile up a whole crowd. I saw that in DC in that first video, and apparently he did the same thing he did with the left with the right. He was somehow able to whip up the crowd of Trump supporters, saying the same thing. It's time for a revolution. It's time for a revolution. But yet they didn't even know that he was an anarchist working for fucking Antifa and Black Lives Matter. It just makes me wonder, like, would all this shit have happened anyway? I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe it would. But the culpability lies therein with certain parties. And yes, there is collective plausibility, whatever you want to call it. Everybody has their part to play in society. Everybody has a certain level of guilt or blame, even just in everyday bullshit, in a relationship. Everybody's a sinner, everybody fucks up. We all need the forgiveness of God, okay? But in a situation like this, where the balance, it's such a delicate balance, right? Everybody's on edge. Everybody's just ready for fucking battle, basically. And this guy shows up, right? Like, I don't know if people were quite ready for this because they were already on edge. The fault doesn't lie on Trump, okay? Believe me. I've seen the video. I've seen him speak. I wasn't there, so I can't speak from like physical in-person experience. I can't fucking go to DC. That's so far away. I can't even afford to barely drive down the street. But people want to blame Trump, right? And it's like, dude, he literally said we go to the Capitol peacefully, right? But then you got people like this, anarchists, hell-bent on fucking destruction, show up. He's literally shouting, we're going to burn this motherfucker down. They get in. He's got a knife. They're trying to break down the doors. And he's like, I got a knife, right? And then the police are leaving. Just literally letting them go right in. Which is insane. And then he somehow convinces the police upstairs to the fucking house gallery He literally somehow convinces these cops to stand down. That's how persuasive and charismatic this guy is. It's utterly disturbing how the police just are like, okay, all right, we'll get out of the way. Sorry, we don't mean to bug you. You know, it's only our fucking job to defend the, the seat of democracy, the holiest fucking place. They act like they're so fucking holy, right? Like they don't bear any responsibility for anything, even though they defrauded our entire fucking system. Our entire nation is fucking collapsing right now because of this shit. They have to have 25,000 soldiers there to protect them because they know they're fucking guilty. They know they're lying fucking devilish thieves. This shit ain't gonna end. It's not just gonna go away overnight. Like, alright, okay, everybody, it's fucking time for communism. Woohoo. It's not gonna fucking go down like that, dude. People are not gonna just give up their country that our fathers fought for and fucking bled and died for. You got fucking... Everybody was there, dude. You had fucking military, police, fire, medical, fucking scientists. Everybody was there, dude. Like, you can't pin this on one group of people or say, oh, it's the Proud Boys or the fucking Oath Keepers. Dude, you had a fucking, essentially a militia of 500,000 people there that day. But yet, only 10 to 15,000 of them even showed up at the Capitol. Most of them were peaceful and were at a Trump rally. And everything was great. But then all of a sudden, you had all the fucking radicals at the Capitol. And all it took was a couple of little fuckers to just get the whole crowd, like, in the zone, right? And this guy was even taking the credit for it, dude. So it's like, you guys want to put the blame on Trump, put the heat on all the conservatives. You've got to really look at who you're working with. CNN was involved, dude. You've got the media literally conspiring against the United States government. Okay? We have footage and proof of that. You know, this girl that he was with, on video saying, oh, look, we did it. You're right. Yay. It's like you're fucking celebrating. But yet, look, if this was really an insurrection, like people call it, dude, imagine if if it was all Antifa in there, right? You saw what one guy wanted. Like, he wanted to burn the place down. If it was an insurrection, they would have burned the place down. You had hundreds of Trump people in there. They didn't burn it down. Because that's not what they wanted to do. That wasn't what they were there for. They were just basically in there to fucking ruffle some feathers. Like I said, like Jesus did. And I'm not giving a license to all this shit. Because, I wasn't there. And God forbid, you know what I mean? Like, there were a lot of conservatives that were trying to stop them. I've seen multiple accounts online. There were many people there, a lot of confusion. People didn't really know what to do. And a lot of people, I think, went in because there was a massive crowd behind them. If they stopped it, basically we're going to get trampled, is the idea I got from it. But basically, you had some really belligerent instigators at the forefront. I mean, literally, the one death by force, essentially, that we have accounted for on the conservative side, 14-year Air Force fucking badass chick, dude, right? Trying to fight for her country. She's a patriot, but yet someone with ill motivation got involved. And literally told her, like, they were motioning for her to go through the window. They put it on her, right? So she went in, or she tries to go in and she gets shot immediately. That's the one death we have. And this is inspired by these anarchists. Literally, you can watch it on video. They break the window out, right? And then they go like this with the hand. You can see somebody's hand going, go in, right? And then she jumps up on the windowsill, gets shot, falls down dead. And the guy who told her to go in starts running down the stairs, and he's changing his clothes, right? Because he's obviously a fucking anarchist and wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, obviously nobody was supposed to be there, right? Officially. But if this was some righteous cause or whatever, which I don't know, dude. I don't really know how to feel about all this shit. It's fucking weird. I definitely think, as many people have said, like Alex Jones, Owen Schroyer, You've got Black Scout Survival. You've got some other guys out there who are saying some of the same shit. It's essentially like a false flag operation. And it definitely does appear that that's kind of going on. I don't really like that they're selling out all their fellow Americans, because they wanna be able to deny culpability, because a lot of them were there. They know that anyone who's like was there and looks like they could be culpable is gonna be hunted down by the FBI. So they don't have a choice. They gotta basically pretend like, hey, we don't support that. They don't want to be held accountable, because if they do, they go to prison. you know um so I don't blame them for kind of, I hate to say it this way, but it's like they're kind of selling out. No offense, but a lot of these same guys were kind of in a way calling for this shit. I hate to say it. If anyone's fucking responsible, it's not Trump. Okay, you never saw Trump saying, hey, let's go fucking storm the Capitol. That's not what happened. Okay, there were other people that were kind of, trying to inspire something, but not calling for violence. But right here you actually see people who were calling for violence, and some of these agent provocateurs, and they were right there at the front end. Right as they entered the scene, all of a sudden everything just blows up. So we need to understand what we're dealing with here. Okay, this isn't just a generic insurrection. These motherfuckers did this shit all year long. They were the ones who were inspiring it. They were the ideological agents of warfare in this modern construct we're dealing with. The people the most responsible for what's going on in America right now and the collapse of our civilization are not these conservatives, okay? Believe me, their hearts are in the right place. They want the truth. They want democracy to prevail. They know they've been cheated, so they're angry. And in an advantageous moment, their passion, their naivety was taken advantage of by a very coercive and corrupt group of people. And it's very possible this guy may be being put up to this by George Soros. He seems to be kind of like a Grandmaster Jay type of figure. He seems to have that same kind of cult-like personality. And one of the things I want to advise now, I'm not trying to talk to, the fucking shills necessarily, but this is a very major concern to me. My concern is that if you guys have let this guy go back into society, you're missing the whole point. Okay? You've got people locked up right now who are being denied bail just for like sticking their feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. I get it. Oh, they're desecrating the seat of democracy. Oh no. Oh no, you unholy man. The guy just wanted a little kick. He thought, oh, it's Nancy Pelosi's office. Yay. He gets his moment in the sun. But now he gets to go to prison for 20 years for that shit? Right. He's not a fucking terrorist, okay? The real terrorists are the people who are inspiring this ideological warfare. And that, as we have seen all year long, we already know who those people are. Those people are the ones who did this shit all year and made us think it was okay to riot and cause chaos and blah, blah, blah. So the one time you see conservatives doing it, for every time the conservatives did it, the left did it at least 100, maybe 1,000 times. The ratio of violence from right to left it's fucking insane, dude. Most fucking right rallies, I've been to a couple, it's mostly like conservatives. Yeah, they get pissed off. They are ready to fight if someone wants to cause a problem, but you don't see them going out of their way to fucking destroy whole cities, burn shit down. So in this one scenario where you see they fucking had it and they let it rip, it lasted like a few hours, Look at the months and months of destruction caused by the left. And while fires are burning in the background, oh, this is just, a mostly peaceful protest, but fiery, mostly peaceful but fiery protests, because that's just what we need, fire everywhere, right? Like, I don't know who ever thought that that was a protest, right? But if you want to call something an insurrection, look back to the George Floyd riots, okay? Look back to this John, fuck, I forgot his last name already. John, whatever, the guy I've been talking about for the last 20 minutes. This fucking dude literally was calling for overthrowing the US government months ago. He'd been planning this all year long. So if you want to look for leadership, if you want to look for responsibility and culpability, look to this guy. Look to some of the guys that were behind him. He has been plotting this all year long, and we have proof of that. It's literally in the court documents and affidavit, but yet, from what I've read, it sounds like he's already been released on bail. He was already arrested back in June for the same shit, rioting, fucking all this shit, but yet now they're releasing him while other people are denied bail, right? Who have much less responsibility. So you're letting somebody go that's going to go out and do this again. And I'm afraid this guy is going to cause utter fucking havoc. Because the next time, if this shit goes down this week, if this guy's free, you can bet he's probably going to be there. Okay? And he's going to be armed. And when the guns and shit come out, he could literally be the guy to fire the first shot. Okay? This could literally start an entire war. And this will be on your guys' heads. Like, the responsibility, per se. Like, if you let this guy go back into society, you're responsible for what comes after. Because you've already seen who he is. You've got the evidence. You've got the video footage. You know that he was calling for a revolution months ago. I mean, yeah, many other people have. But this guy, he seems to have the persona and the fucking credentials and the experience for it. You'll see people rise up. He like I said, he's got that Grandmaster J fucking persona, fucking Osama bin Laden. You see people like that through the ages. He seems to have that kind of persona. He's a young guy, 26. You may be discounting him and downplaying the threat now, but I really think this guy's going to become a serious problem. I think he needs to be charged with a little more serious of crimes. Rather than charging our president with incitement to insurrection, I think this guy, John Sullivan, needs to be charged with conspiracy for insurrection. He needs to be denied bail, because if he's out there on the street, this guy is going to be a primary agent of warfare. He may end up being a martyr for his cause and inspiring many others. So I don't know. I'm definitely a bit perturbed by all this, and I'm sorry for I wish I could be more active in this fight and joining with some of my people to just call for the end of fucking violence and abolishing this communistic bullshit. But I'm disoriented just like everybody else. I don't have any fucking experience. I don't know hardly military shit. Everybody thinks they're a G.I. Joe commando nowadays, and personally, I'm a musician. I'm not very experienced with all this shit. I do what I can. I speak out when I can, which is not very often. But most of all, I pray for our nation right now. I pray for all our armed forces. I pray for the police officers in this nation. I even pray for the members of Congress, even though I think y'all are a bunch of fucking scumbags for what you did to us this week. And I mean, you've literally betrayed your own nation. You betrayed the people of this land and this great country. And quite honestly, you need to be held accountable for that. And I wouldn't be surprised if if you've stirred up this revolution even of yourselves by fucking installing a Chinese communist agent in the highest seat of land in our whole nation, in the whole world, and you all really think you're going to get away with it. God, I pray, I beg for mercy on your souls. If you guys think you're scared now from what you saw last week, God, I fucking cringe at the thought of what lies ahead. If you thought that shit was scary, you're in for a wild ride. You collapse the fucking greatest nation on earth, you're going to have some blood on your hands. And I'm not just talking like this or that. Everybody, dude, on every side, dude. Nobody wins in war. It's disturbing. It's ugly. I've never been in the military or combat. You know, I've seen urban combat, you know, out at the bar. I've seen a lot of brawls in the streets because that's what happens when people get drunk and stupid. But I've never been in a battlefield, and frankly, I don't really want to. I don't want to see the streets of my nation turn into a war zone, and that's what you're doing to us. So quit pointing your finger at everyone else. Quit pointing at your finger at the conservatives, you know, and look in the mirror, you know, at what you're doing to us. Look at what you've done to our nation. You're collapsing our fucking national sovereignty. The nations of the world are laughing at us right now. So I think you all need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and see where the responsibility really lies, rather than blaming our president, trying to, you know, overthrow the entire United States government. Right, like, you guys won the presidency, you won the House and the Senate, right? You guys must be fucking God, right? Fuck. I mean, God, who could be as cool as the fucking Democrats? We can lie, cheat, and steal and get away with it. And nothing's gonna happen, right? Because, you know, we got these 25,000 National Guard out here to protect us. Right. Not if 500,000 patriots can't do shit to us. Well, listen, guys. I mean, you're in for a rude awakening, and you have seemed to unleash the beast, the Kraken. I think you're in for a hell of a ride. And God forbid, I mean, some of us, man, as the Bible says, you know, there will become a day when all men will lay down their arms. You know, the lion will lay with the lamb. You know, the people will take their swords and turn them into plowshares. There will become a day where every hill will become made a plain. Every valley will be made high.